How exactly did you get in KISS? Like, how did that happen?
KISS were working on Animalize. They already couldn't get along with Vinnie Vincent. He's gone. And then they hired a guy on the short list that Paul and Gene got from Grover Jackson, the guy from Charvel Guitars and Jackson Guitars. And they wanted somebody like a real shredder. And they wound up with this guy, Mark St. John. Actual name, Mark Norton. And he was a fine player, although he wasn't really a straight-ahead rock player. He was influenced by like Alan Holdsworth and more fusion players, okay? And I thought that was really surprising to me when they hired him. And apparently he had a health condition that his hand was swollen, so he couldn't play guitar. And like the time that my brother used to do ghost guitar work for KISS, right? Like that, Paul asked me to come in and do some ghost guitar work, you know? So Paul called me to do some work like, you know, ghost guitar, they call it. You're not going to get credited. And he liked what I played. Very odd. He goes, my hair was probably about this length, although, of course, bigger back then. But he said, don't cut your hair. And I was like, why is he telling me? I'm just doing a session for the band. I thought it was odd. And within about 6 weeks, I get a call from the KISS office. You know, we need you to help out and go to Europe with us for the Animalize tour. You know, it might be, you might do the whole tour for 6 weeks or just a few weeks, depending on, you know, Mark's health and if they can get him back to join them, you know. And then in the end, I did all of Europe. And then I started to rehearse for the American tour for Animalize. Big hit, Heaven's on Fire, right? And Mark came out with me and they wanted to test him, which was very unique. I mean, think of that. You actually have your, you know, the guy whose job it's supposed to be, but he's just going to watch and learn so that they can then insert him, you see. And in the end, they did. They let him play the first half of a show, and I finished the show. And then they let him play the second half of the show. I started the show. And then they let him do a whole show. And then they sent him home. And that's how I got the gig.
Wow. Were you surprised?
No, because by the time halfway through Europe, I really thought, I'm the right guy for this gig. You know what I mean? And it wouldn't be easy for someone to come in and fit better than the way I felt I was fitting. But I was never cocky about it or overly confident. I was, fortunately, that was a weird opportunity to come up and to handle it the way I did, which is maturely, okay, was a smart thing, you know. In other words, if it's meant to be, I'm going to do the best I can. But I thought I won the lottery when they asked me to join for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Oh, I was in KISS for a month or whatever, you know what I mean? But it turned into 12 years.